all in its one will soon depart. Right? And also, you know, what do we say? We have this rich, first off, the first guy who interrupts. Jesus is there teaching the people. And all of a sudden this guy says, and he has no faith in Jesus because he just calls him teacher instead of rabbi, Lord, master. And he says, would you straighten out my brother and give me my share in inheritance? And so what do we have here? There's a dispute. Right? Their father died, the two brothers, right? One got the money, the other doesn't. And so what you have there is greed on the part of the brother who has the money, and the other guy is very lazy, right? Why don't he go out and get a job? Maybe his father had decided to give the other man, the other brother, the inheritance. You know, and then Jesus says, no, I have nothing to do with that. You know, and so then, you know, this rich man, what does he talk about? All you hear is one pronoun, I. So often we're so selfish, it's always about me. Isn't that true? So often that's the way we put it. We put me first, right? Then my pleasures, and we put God third, and what have you. But it's always I. And so what does Jesus call this man? You fool. Can you imagine if we died right now and went before Jesus and he said to us right now, you fool? Lord, we'd start shaking in our boots. You know, but there are some different examples in the Bible, you know, and there's one of my favorite stories is called Lazarus and the Rich Man. Again, it's about a super rich guy, and the Bible tells us that every day he'd go riding out of this you know, castle, and and then they throw the food that was left over from his table, throw it out there to the dogs. And who was right there with the dogs looking for some food? This poor guy named Lazarus. And maybe he had leprosy or something, because it says the dogs used to lick the sores on his body. And then one day, what does it say? Lazarus died. But now it says that he went to the bosom of Abraham. And for the Jews at that time, they didn't really believe in a heaven. They believed in what was called an afterlife. So he's in the bosom of Abraham, his father. And then it just says the rich man died. Period. Now the story continues. There's this big fire between the two of them. And this guy, now he says, Abraham, send Lazarus over to give me a little water. You know, he's still got an attitude. Right? That's my little servant boy right over there. You know. And then poor Abraham says, I'm sorry, there's a chasm here. We can't go across. So then next he's still going, send him to my brothers so they'll straighten out. All right, and Abraham just says, even if someone rose from the dead, some people will not believe. Very true, right? You know, and then you wonder about, now there was, how do people do use wealth? Take Mother Teresa. Right now, this house, if she didn't have God as her banker, none of us would be here right now. This house wouldn't be here, the food wouldn't. We don't take government money here. All the programs you go to, sponsored by the government, correct? Okay? All of them, not here. The sister's mother just said, get down on your knees. If God is my banker, if he wants it to be done, it will be done. Because she read where it says, blessed are the poor. The rich have your reward already, right? And it's so true, you know. And so all of us in this house are poor. How blessed we are. We should realize that. The blessings that God has given us, and yet we don't think of it because of the way society looks at us. You know, an example was St. Francis of Assisi. All right, he was very wealthy. Not him, his father. He was a very wealthy man, and all of a sudden he starts dipping into the till and giving the money away to all the poor people. His father gets an attitude, calls over the one in authority, which was the local bishop. And, you know, he says, hey, you can't be doing this. And then finally the father said, and he says, and even the clothes you got on your back, I gave you. What did he do? Stripped himself naked. In front of all the people, the bishop covered him up. And then what did Francis do? Right? Franciscans all over the place. What do they say about Francis? He lived the closest life to Jesus as anybody. But what did Jesus say? The Son of Man has no place to lay his head. Right? Jesus never had a home. All right? You know, and then you take, at the very beginning, the one who probably had got more blessings than anybody was the first man ever born, Adam. He would never die. no sickness, never had to work, right? Had this wife, right? Perfect land. He had it made. Only one thing, don't go near that one tree. So what did the devil do? He tempts Eve, right? Eve falls for the okie doke, right? Now this is very interesting. What should Adam have done when he offered her that fruit? If he had fallen on his knees and begged forgiveness for his wife, the world might have been completely changed. Because Jesus had to do this. And what do we call Jesus? St. Paul says, this is the new Adam. Right? And his mother is the new Eve. To recreate everything again. All right? Yes?
Why didn't he? Why? His pride? Why didn't
Okay, again, who knows? But again, because number one, when the devil said to her, you know, why you can eat that fruit? Oh no, God said we can't eat it. Hey, he don't want you to eat it because you will become like God. Pride. And so Adam is standing right there. He could have said to Eve, hey, let's get out of here. Am I right? Pride. Pride goes before a fall. The devil's a liar.
What was the forbidden fruit?
It was a tree.
But what was on the tree?
Who knows? Everybody say, we always see an apple.
Okay.
But who knows what the fruit? Could have been a watermelon. You know, who knows? Or a banana. You know, it was a fruit. I mean, it's a symbol. You know, it's a symbol that God said, everything's yours, but just don't do that. But what did Moses do with Moses do with the 10 Commandments? Boom, 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 everything's great. Here's 10 Commandments. Then Jesus came along and made it even smaller. What did he say? Love God, love your neighbor. You know, it's so simple. You know? All right, so now if he had say he had decided to intercede for his wife and beg forgiveness. Because an example of that, which reminds me of that, is we have the mighty King David. God loved King David, that's for sure, right? Now, it says in the book, and in the spring when the kings go out to war. And what should King David have done? Gone out to war. Right? But what does it say? He stayed back. And one day he's on his roof, looking around, nice sunny day, he got his wine, he got everything going good. And he looks down on a roof, and what do you see? He sees this very beautiful woman taking a bath. Right? And what is the next thing you do? He calls her over. Idleness is the devil's workshop. Right? Next thing you know, he commits adultery. Then she's pregnant. Next thing he calls her husband, and he commits murder. So all of a sudden, the great King David commits murder, commits adultery. Right? But now it's interesting, when he's accused by the prophet, what does he do? He doesn't tell, the prophet he could have just iced, kill him, boom, goodbye. I'm king. First thing, he fell down on his knees and he wrote Psalm 51. Have mercy on me, O God, a sinner. Anytime you're looking for forgiveness from God, read Psalm 51. Because in it says, and it's great consolation, a humble, contrite heart you will not spurn. Humble, contrite heart. We have to go before God with a humble, contrite heart. It's just really, it's so simple the way God sets everything up for us. But now, you say, well, what does that rich man have to do with us? I ain't got any money. But what is our treasure? What do we decide to choose above God? Drugs, drinking, pornography, you name it. When we do that, that is our treasure. And we're called to what? Our time, our treasure, our talents should all be offered up to our Heavenly Father.
Okay.
Mario is going to sing for you, okay? Guys.
It's very simple, all right?
Yes.
Very simple. You just repeat, come be my light.
All right.
Okay? That's the words God said to Mother Teresa. Come be my light. It's the same thing God come to you and to me and to everybody, and He said, come be my light. What's mean come be my light? To be a presence of Jesus Christ in this world. What does it mean to be a presence of Jesus Christ in this world? Means we need to educate our heart, because our heart is full of envy, full of rancor, como se diz, full of justice. jealous. That's our heart. That's why Jesus Christ don't find a place to live, to sleep. Because our heart does not want Jesus Christ inside. That's why Jesus Christ don't find a place to sleep. Jesus Christ to find a place to sleep means you need to find a heart with purity, with sincerity, with to be intimately with God. Everybody understand Spanish? Or everybody understand Spanish? I'm sorry.
Spanish.
Quem habla espanhol aqui? Todos hablan espanhol?
Sí.
Y hablas inglés también. Estou me dizendo que vamos a cantar um canto que diz Come be my light, viene y sé mi luz, por las palabras que Dios ha dicho a Madre Teresa. E a partir daí ela se enamorou de Jesucristo. A mesma coisa para nós hoje. Jesucristo está buscando um lugar onde